Welcome back to my build series. So this is a 6-wheel drive Land Cruiser and it's wide-bodied, and that's sort of what I'm working on now. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a patch to cover up the handle because we're using door buttons to open the door and not handles. I've already shaved the front and I've already done the other side, and this is the way I do it. So for this, I'm making a cardboard template which then I will cut in steel. So with my cardboard, I get the patch as close as I can until I cut it out in steel. And then once I'm happy with the shape of it, I'll scrub a line so I know where to cut. And then sand the paint off to give me a nice surface to weld to. So where the handle used to be is not dead flat. It sort of curves mostly at the top. So I'm just putting a few little folds to represent a curve. You may also notice I'm not clamping it down hard. I'm actually leaving it kind of loose. The reason for this is just so that the fold is not as sharp, it's a bit more rounded, so it sort of represents a curve a bit more than a fold. So when I weld this back in, I'm just checking that it's all still square and sort of straight and it hasn't dipped down or anything weird while I've cut it out and made a new patch, but it's looking good, so I'm going to continue. And I pretty much do whatever I can, if it's a little flathead screwdriver or something, to make sure that both panels are level when I weld them and one's not sitting higher than the other, which is quite important, especially when it comes to grinding the welds down and actually filling it for paint. If there's a step or something weird, it's going to need a lot more filler, which you do not want. So now I want to fill the gap on the back of the door where the guard is, because we've lifted the whole top piece up and pushed the bottom forward. So now we just want to link those two bits together, which is straight from the top to the bottom. I just got to trim the bottom a little bit more. Okay, so I cut this piece out. I did sand it with the orbital sander just to get the surface rust off it, because I'm using some scrap that I had under my bench just because it's smaller and I didn't want to cut up a new piece. But what I'm doing now is, it has like a slight sort of bend all the way around the guard where it sort of flattens out. So I'm putting this back in and I'm just folding it. Pretty much just like that. If you can see it, you might not be able to, but yeah. So it's really annoying, this little bit. I don't know if I cut it on a slightly different angle, I may not have got that problem. I'm not really sure, but I have to weld it up anyway. It's not the end of the world. So as you can see, I've chopped it down so that I can change the angle of it. So it's more up and down rather than slanted back. And the reason it was slanted back previously is because originally that's the way the door was shaped, because the guard at the top there that we've lifted used to be way lower, and so this mold was technically higher up, if that makes sense. I've already changed it on the other side, so I'm just taking measurements from the other side, and that's what I'm measuring on this side, so it's exactly the same. So it's 50 mil from the edge of the door to the first fold, and well, line or body line or whatever you want to call it, and that's just what I'm lining it up with now. So I'll show you guys what I got done. So we did the handle, I put that in. The reason why I didn't do it when I did this is because it went to the top here and also like this and stuff like that. So it would have been kind of a waste of time. It would have been backtracking if I did the handle, because I didn't want the handle to come here and then have to weld two lines like I sort of did here, but that was a mistake. I put this in, so of course this needed to be twisted to
go like that, so it's in line with this, because the old door was not, because it was up here more, like picture that was lower, so it was on a different angle. So I had to change that, put that in and everything like that. So this door is majority finished on the outside. Obviously it just needs welding up properly, but tomorrow I'm gonna work on the inside. So because this gets chopped off and changed majorly to look more like this, because this is the other side and this is what we got to achieve. So this is obviously very modified.